Ethan balanced a stroller with one hand and a shopping bag with the other, his mind racing with the never-ending list of things a single dad had to remember. His 4-year-old daughter, Lily, tugged at his sleeve, pointing at the candy display. "Just one, Daddy," she pleaded, her eyes wide. He smiled softly. "Okay, one. But no chocolate before dinner." It was one of those rare good days, no tantrums, no rush. For a moment, it almost felt normal again. Almost. As they left the toy store, Ethan didn't notice the wallet slip from his jacket pocket. It landed silently on the glossy mall floor, along with something much more precious, a small velvet pouch containing his late wife's wedding ring. Hours later, he realized it was gone. Panic surged through his chest. He retraced every step, asked at the mall's lost and found, even spoke to security, nothing. By evening, the mall was closing. Ethan sat on a bench, holding Lily close, his heart sinking. That ring wasn't just jewelry, it was the last piece of her mother Lily would ever have. As they walked toward the parking lot, defeated, a voice called out, "Excuse me. Are you Ethan Miller?" He turned around. A woman, about 30, stood there, slightly out of breath, holding up his wallet. But when he opened it, his eyes widened. Inside was not just his ID and cash, but his wife's ring, carefully wrapped in tissue. Ethan froze, staring at the familiar silver band resting safely in the wallet. His throat tightened. You found this?" he asked, voice barely steady. The woman nodded, a soft smile touching her face. "I found it near the toy store earlier. There was no ID inside, so I opened the wallet to see if I could return it. When I saw the ring, I thought it might mean something important." "It's my late wife's," Ethan whispered, emotion flooding his eyes. "I thought I lost her all over again." For a moment, neither spoke. The hum of the mall faded around them, leaving only the sound of Lily's small giggle as she played with her toy. "I didn't want to just drop it off at security," the woman continued. "I went through your business card and found your number. But when I called, it went straight to voicemail. So I waited here, hoping you'd come back." Ethan looked at her, surprised. "You waited for hours? You didn't have to do that." "I did," she said quietly. "I know what loss feels like." Her eyes glistened for a second, then she quickly looked away. Ethan didn't press. Instead, he extended his hand. "Thank you, for giving a stranger something irreplaceable." She smiled, shaking his hand gently. "I'm Claire," she said. "And maybe it wasn't just luck I found it, maybe I was meant to." As Claire turned to leave, Ethan called out, "Can I at least buy you a coffee to say thank you?" She hesitated, then smiled again. "Coffee sounds nice." And as they walked toward the cafe, Ethan felt something stir inside him, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. Maybe, this meeting wasn't just coincidence. The small cafe near the mall entrance smelled of roasted beans and rain-soaked pavement. Ethan stirred his coffee absent-mindedly while Lily colored on a napkin beside him. Across the table, Claire sat with her hands wrapped around her cup, her smile gentle but distant. "Thank you again," Ethan began. "You really didn't have to wait for me. Most people would have just left it at the counter." Claire shrugged. "Maybe I needed a reason to stay." Ethan looked at her curiously. There was something about her tone, quiet, yet heavy. "You said you know what loss feels like," he said softly. "Do you want to talk about it?" She hesitated, then nodded. "My younger brother. Car accident 2 years ago. I still keep expecting him to text me stupid memes." A small, sad laugh escaped her. "You never think the last goodbye is the last." Ethan's chest tightened. "I lost my wife, Emily, 3 years ago. Cancer. Lily was just one." Claire looked down, her eyes shimmering. "I'm sorry," she whispered. He smiled faintly. It's okay. Some days I think I've healed, then something small, like that ring, rips it open again. They sat in silence, letting the quiet fill the spaces where words couldn't. Lily looked up, grinning. Daddy, she's nice. Can she come to our house? Claire laughed, a sound so light it made Ethan smile too. Maybe one day, she said playfully. When they finally stood to leave, Ethan felt lighter, not because his wallet was back, but because he'd found something unexpected. As they said goodbye, Claire pressed a small note into his hand. In case you or Lily ever want company. Her number. And for the first time in years, Ethan didn't feel alone. Days turned into weeks, and what began as a simple thank you coffee turned into regular meetups. Sometimes at the park, sometimes at Claire's favorite bookstore cafe, always with Lily in tow, clutching her stuffed bunny and calling Claire Auntie. Ethan hadn't realized how much he missed laughter until he heard it again, genuine, effortless laughter that filled the empty spaces of his home. Claire didn't try to fix anything, she just fit, quietly, naturally. One Saturday, she brought over cookies and coloring books. For my favorite artist, she told Lily, handing her a crayon set shaped like stars. Ethan watched from the kitchen doorway. Claire knelt beside his daughter, her eyes warm, her laughter soft, like someone who had known them forever. Something stirred in him again, that same warmth he felt the day they met. Later that evening, after Lily fell asleep, Ethan and Claire sat on the porch sipping tea. The air smelled of rain and jasmine. You know, Ethan said quietly, you've brought a lot of light back into this house. Claire smiled faintly. Maybe we're both learning how to live again. He nodded. Maybe. For a while, they just listened to the crickets, the silence between them comfortable. Then Claire reached into her bag and pulled out something small, a delicate silver chain. It was my brother's, she said softly. He always believed good things find their way back. I want you to have it, for Lily. Ethan looked at her, speechless. Sometimes, fate doesn't send people to replace what we lost, it sends them to remind us love still exists. And in that moment, under the soft porch light, Ethan realized, maybe love was finding its way back, too. Winter came quietly that year. The street sparkled with holiday lights, and the small town mall, the same one where their story began, was dressed in red and gold. Ethan walked hand in hand with Lily, Claire beside them carrying hot cocoa for all three. The air was crisp, but the warmth between them made the cold easier to bear. Daddy, Lily said, her mittened hand pointing at the giant Christmas tree. Can we put Mommy's ring there? So she can see the lights too? Ethan's heart tightened. Before he could answer, Claire knelt beside Lily. How about we keep it close to your heart instead? She smiled softly and lifted the silver chain she had once given them. Hanging from it was Emily's ring, shining gently under the twinkling lights. Lily's eyes lit up. Like magic, she whispered. They stood together, watching the lights flicker, three souls connected by loss, love, and something new that didn't need a name yet. Later that night, as Ethan walked Claire to her car, he stopped. You know, he said quietly, the day I lost that wallet, I thought it was one of the worst days of my life. But now, I think it was the beginning of something good. Claire looked up, eyes soft. Sometimes life takes something away just to make space for what's next. He smiled, stepping closer. Then I guess this was meant to be. Snow began to fall, slow and silent. Claire took his hand, and for the first time since Emily's passing, Ethan didn't feel the ache of goodbye, only the warmth of a new beginning. Because sometimes, losing something precious, is how life helps you find what truly matters.